Hi everyone. Good evening. Good evening everyone. Yes, 5 o'clock on dot. Please confirm you can hear me. Good evening everyone. Confirm you can hear me. You can just send a thumbs up or something for me to know that I am audible. Good evening everyone. All right. I'm waiting for that confirmation before we kick off. Okay, I have a chat here. Let me check that. Oh, thank you very much, Razak Dada. Thank you so much. All right. This is 5 o'clock. Let's just wait for 2, 3 more minutes to have 1 or 2 more people on the call, and then we'll kick off. I can see Chidozie here. Our instructor is around, so that's amazing. It's nice to have you. Sinachi, good evening. It's nice to have you on the call. Good
Good
evening.
evening. I
Yeah.
believe you can hear me. Good evening, everyone.
Amazing. Welcome, Nicholas. Welcome, Chidozie. Welcome, Razak Dada. It's nice to have you all on the call. We can just start doing introductions while we wait for people. Let me know your name and where you're joining from. Yes, let me know your name. Thank you all for the greetings. I feel so, I feel so honored. Please let me know your name and where you're joining from in the chat box. And yes, we'll kick off very, very soon. Let me know your name and where you're joining from. My name is Grace Fidelis and I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. It has rained and rained and rained, and the weather is so chilly. At some point, I'm like, oh my god, I can just
I
even
would like
just
to
sleep
ask,
for
is
the
it
day.
general? Is it
I
general?
think it's general. I think it's general.
You
Like,
know, yesterday was I think it's yesterday or day before yesterday it was raining more very, very well in the mainland. So I started hearing that.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like
it
it was
was.
sunny here, it was raining there. So I don't know if it's raining over there in mainland or it's raining here but it's not raining over there. Anyways, the rain
Oh,
was really, really mighty this morning.
yeah, and
Big
even
sure.
today, I don't think it rained yesterday on the mainland, right? I stay on the mainland, but I don't think it rained. But today, of course, it did, and it was very heavy. The roads are flooded, actually. But then we're grateful for the rain. The weather is so soothing. Thank you.
Rain has come to wash our sins away.
Oh, okay. I hope it does. All right. So there's Chidozie from Abuja. Welcome, Chidozie. Then there's Nicholas Adi from Lagos. Welcome. So nice to have all of you on the call. Thank you for joining us. All right. So I'm going to start now. We're just going to start now, but then I just want to tell us a bit about technetics and why we do what we do, and a bit about our instructor today so that we can get familiar with him. So I'll be sharing my screen. Please let me know when you can see my screen, and I'll just take you through this for some minutes, and then we can have our amazing Osinachi take us um to the class. All right. Please confirm you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, please? Osinachi, can you see my screen, please?
Yes, 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 yes. It's
Amazing,
visible.
amazing. All right. So I'm just quickly going to run through this, and yeah. So Technetics, we're empowering Africa's workforce for a digital future. Yeah. So our Technetics basically, what we do is we've seen the shortage in professionals in data science, product management, no code, just name it, and we're here to, bridge that gap, ensure that people that need to be reskilled, upskilled, they are. One amazing thing about Technetics is we are very forward with our vision, right? We just even started a training for people that want to learn cybersecurity. So it's a collaboration with ITF and NECA, right? So we started a training for cybersecurity, and today that's why, I knew that the roads were flooded because I had to be there. And data analytics will start tomorrow. And then we're also running some trainings on artificial intelligence. All to say that we want to say that professionals and, generally Nigerians are where they're supposed to be, in the professional world in terms of, skill sets that they have to have. Yeah, thank you. So we're an edtech institution and we're driving Africa's growth by equipping its workforce with critical digital skills, aligning with SDG goals for quality education and decent work and economic growth. And we are accredited by the CPD certification service in the UK, right? And our learning model is sort of a blended one where we do quad-based learning programs. We also do, short programs, right? And we also have a virtual simulation lab called PROS, where our students can implement what they've learned, on a real life data. This is our vision to be the leading force in Africa's digital transformation. And we hope our mission to reskill over 10,000 professionals by this year. That's great. That's a big one. And that's why we're doing all of the things we're doing. That's why we're bringing out master classes, bringing out webinars to ensure that, we hit our mission. So I already spoke about our solutions. We have cohort-based learning models. We have our Pulse, that's our virtual lab. Then we have strategic internship placements, for our students. And then we have an AI-enabled LMS when you can get a real-time feedback on assignment quizzes. You necessarily don't need to wait so long if you have an issue that needs to be addressed whilst learning. These are our notable partnerships, Go 54 and NSC, right? We just concluded our training for the second cohort for the Nigerian Society of Engineers, where we trained over 50 engineers. They just graduated on data analytics, and it was a beautiful sight to behold. And these are the brands that have trusted us over the years. And this is the best team. We have Tayo, the founder and the lead trainer. Then this is me, program manager. Then we have Timothy, the graphics designer. And we have Charles, our marketing associate. And this is why we are here today, right? This is why we're here today, right? So we're here. Osinachi, please confirm you can still hear me and other people on the call. You can still hear me, right? Hello? Can anyone hear me, please? Okay, let me check my chat. Because when I am sharing my screen, I barely cannot see what's happening there. I want to be sure I'm not speaking to myself. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me go back to my slides. Thank you so much. So this is why we're here. Let's go back to the slides. Amazing. So we're here to learn how to master joins in SQL. And we just want to learn how to build relationship across tables, right? One major thing is once you know how to build relationship across tables, you are able to analyze your data more efficiently, right? And so that's why we're bringing out this webinar session to enlighten us on how to do this better, right? And we have Osinaka Chinwakiri with us is a data, AI, and automation specialist at Active Edge Technology. So we know that we're in great hands, right? So let me tell you a bit about Oshinakachi. He's a dedicated and friendly professional. I don't think I want to read all of this because, when I got the bar, I'm like, wow, okay. He's a dedicated and friendly professional with a passion for making a positive impact wherever he finds himself. With a bachelor's degree in business management, he has successfully built a career that bridges both his academic background and his interest in technology. Currently, he serves as a data, AI, and automation specialist at Active Edge Technology, where he applies advanced analytical techniques and intelligence automation tools to drive innovation, efficiency, and value for clients across sectors. Welcome, 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 Osinakachi. It's nice to have you on the call. So I know that we're just this is a tester section, max 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, we're out of here. And I know that at the end of this training, you're going to want more. And so we have our course coming up July 5th, starts next Saturday, if I'm correct, and we're going to learn SQL. So if you see anything that Osinachi is going to be doing here, it's just the tip of the iceberg. You really want to enroll for this course, right? Our payment methods are flexible. I'll drop a consultation link on the group chat for those that want to have a conversation with me to say, oh, what's this course about and how can I be a part of it? I'm always open. We're always open to have that conversations with you all to ensure that we give you the best of the best, right? So thank you so much for staying with me as I took you through my slides, right? So can we just welcome Osinachi? You can send him an emoji, a clapping emoji or something on the chat box. We just want to welcome Osinachi, and we just want to say a very big thank you for him joining us on our webinar today. So welcome Osinachi.
All
It's
right.
a pleasure to have you on the call. So you can have the floor, please. I can't see the emojis welcoming Osinachi. We want you to really, really enlighten us on this session. So please let's welcome Osinachi. Oh, they are clapping in the chat already. So yes, I'm joining that club.
Thanks,
Welcome, Osinachi. All
I can hear
right.
it from here.
All right.
Um,
Amazing. Welcome.
Glory, thanks, Glory. Thanks everyone for welcoming here. It's nice to be here, and I believe and I'm sure that it's going to be an powerful and insightful section. And yes, so I don't know if I should go ahead or you still have more to say, Glory.
No, please go ahead. Already taking your
All
time
right,
already. We can do this.
right. So the floor is all right. All right. So
I Osinachi, can you hear
at
me?
joins. I know this is a very, very interesting topic, and I tell you the truth. If you understand this, then you'll be able to query, you'll be able to do your analysis with SQL well. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. All right, so I don't know if you can see my screen. Glory, can you confirm if you can see
Yes,
my
I can
screen?
see your screen. Your screen is up. I can see your screen.
Hello, Glory. Can you hear
I
me?
Osinachi, can you hear me? I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me, please?
Oh, Glory.
I Osinachi, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me, please? I can hear you clearly.
So can anyone
I
confirm if you can hear me?
Osinachi, I can hear you. I think network is very bad. I Osinachi, can you check the chat box? We can hear you clearly. All right. Sorry about that. I think Osinachi's network is bad. 1 minute. Um 1 minute, please. Osinachi will join us very soon.
Oh, can anyone confirm if you can hear me?
Hi, Osinachi, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
All right, all right.
Can you hear me? Hi, Osinachi. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. I'm going to get Osinachi back on the call, so please don't go anywhere. I'm so sure his internet has some issues. I'm going to get him back on the call very soon. So please just stay back, relax. We're going to have an interesting session. Thank you. Um, we're still waiting for Osinachi to get back, so I'm sure he's working on his network already. But while we wait for Osinachi, I want to take a poll, right? Let's just start having some conversation whilst he tries to join back. Please confirm that you can still hear me. I want to be sure that you can still hear me. You can drop it in the chat box. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm audible then. So I want us to take a poll. I'll be posting it now. All right. Snatch will be joining us very soon. Also trying to reach him. All right. So I just sent a poll. What is your experience level with SQL? So 1 star means very small. 5 star means you are like wow. I'm seeing 1 5 star. Oh my god. We're really we have like we have people that are really, 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 really okay. Someone's hand is up. I by Manu, your hand is up. I'm allowing you to talk, so you can please say what you want to say. Thank you. So we're still taking the poll. I'm still checking it out. Wow, 5 star, 2 star, 1 star. Please let's take the poll. I'd love to know the feel in class. I'd love to know.
Hello,
Hi, Osinachi, can you hear me now, please?
can you hear me too?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yes,
can
I
hear
can
you
hear
now.
you.
I can hear you.
Amazing. Amazing.
Sorry,
So,
guys. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. It was
all right.
you handed
All
it
right.
over to me, and the network decided to misbehave. So I have to put off and put on my router back
All
to.
right.
All right.
Okay.
So
So I was just taking a poll, right, to know the feeling class, the experience level they have with SQL, and you should see the results, on your screen, right? So you can just, take over class. Thank you.
all right. All right. All right. Sorry, guys. Thank you very much.
I also naturally still here, please.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Amazing. So
I
yeah,
want to.
we can. All right. So Osinachi is back in class. Yeah. So we're ready to have an amazing session. Yeah.
All right. Once again, I'm very, very sorry about that. All right. So, um, let's see how we can be able to beat the time and ensure that we understand what I will be sharing with you guys. So the topic here is going to be mastering joins in SQL, building relationship across tables. And it's very essential that each tables will be created in SQL in one way or the other. They have to be related. So in the case whereby you want to access a particular field on a particular table, you want to access a particular field that is not in this table, you have to then you can then use join to be able to access it. And for you to be able to access a particular field, there must be a column that is related with the other. There must be a column in a table that should be related to another table. So a match field. Let's put it that way. So this is an example of how a relational database looks like. When if you look at introduction of SQL, we'll talk about normalization first and second normalization. And normalization requires that you kind of like separate your table into different you have a very large table with a lot of fields. Instead of you having a large number of tables with a lot of fields, you can be able to segregate it. You can cut it down into different tables. And our database is like a container with tables in it, and each of these tables must be related so that there's a way you can be able to feed from one table to another. Now, this is an example of how
There's
a relational
there's
database looks
rain.
like.
There's rain.
All
Rain
right.
day.
So I'm hearing noise from the background. I don't know where it's coming from. All right,
Sorry,
so we
I sorted it out already. You can go on. Thank you.
all right, thank you. So we have this example here. So you can see that this is a table, author, book, borrower, loan, copy, and auto list. So this is like a mapping. So most of the time, before we kind of like create a database through the tables, and so most of the time we actually go into draw. We do all this structure, this mapping of a thing. We if you want to be able to create something like this, we have what we call draw.ai. So draw.ai has this platform whereby you can actually do this that is displayed for you. So most of the time we have to do this planning, do this mapping, if I mean if I can use that word. So when you're done with this, then you can then go to your SQL to then create your tables, include the values, and so on and so forth. So you can see, for example, here, this is an author, and we see that we have last name, first name, email, and stuff. Then we have author ID. The author ID is also included here. In the author ID, we have book ID. And if you go further again, we have book ID in book. So in one way or the other, we can be able to like do our analysis. Okay, we need the name of people that acquire so book. Fine, we don't have book here, we don't have book here, we don't have book here. But because of in one way or the other, they are kind of related. We have the author ID in this table, which allows us to use the book ID to also get this value from here too. So because of we can access this table, and the reason why because we have a matching value here. So auto ID is here, auto ID is here, and in auto ID we know we don't have books here. What we have is book ID. So because of we can access this table, then we can also be able to get the book of each person here. And because why? Because they are kind of related. So same with others, you can see borrower ID and so on and so forth. So we have primary key and foreign keys. These identify unique values. So um, if we look at we go to the basics of SQL, and so the theory part, which I'm sure that will be that they will take you through before you go into the practical. Yeah, you understand data types, you understand what database is all about, you understand what data is all about, you understand the data types, the several data types we have. Then the statements, we talk about DMLs and so on and so forth. So a lot of things before we even go into the practical, because I'm sure you know all these things. So once you get to the practical, coming to see all these things, you understand what this means, what this is. We'll talk about constraints, and so because primary key and foreign key are part of constraints in SQL, and unique and null and so on and so forth. They are all constraints. So it's essential you know all these things, and that will be taught to you all. So moving forward, I believe you all understand now what relational database is, and this is just like an intro to for us to be able to understand what join is, because join cannot work if they are not matching values. Just as we have here, we can need to join this table with this table. And why is it so? Because we have a matching value, we have a matching field. So this auto ID is yes, auto ID is here. So it allows us to be able to match these two tables together. So moving on, what is join? So without even going much into it, I've been able to actually describe what join is in the first slide. So join is like a matching puzzle pieces. But I want to ensure that I break this down in simple form so you understand this topic join. So I don't want to go advanced. So you just need to understand it little by little, breaking it down in a little way. And once you understand it in the basic form, then when we go into the advanced, you understand it, because several there are several times we include join, especially when we want to do when we are trying to when we're doing a kind of like an advanced query, join to select statement together. Sometimes we use with clause, and using with clause joins are also involved in it. A lot of advanced things. So let me just don't bore you that. So let me just focus on what join is all about. So in join here, we can see that we have these two puzzles, and if you are familiar with our puzzle, is like you have to ensure that okay, a spot, a hole, or wherever we can call it, must match with another. So we keep on looking for a particular pieces that matches up with another piece, and like that, you keep going on to your complete with the whole board. So you cannot put a piece that doesn't match with another piece. It won't work. It won't be able to join together. So we are using these puzzle pieces as to describe what join is in SQL. The both pieces must match, and when they match, you can be able to do your analysis. Then you know that yes, you're good to go, and proceed from there with analysis. So that is how join is all about. So they must match, and when they are can be when they are able to match together, it now allows you to be able to do your analysis. Okay, moving forward, we have several joins, and we're going to take it step by step. And this is just an image. Most of the time, if you're familiar with SQL and join, most of them you put in this subset like a circle, join together, show your path, and like that. So I just wanted it to be different this time around, using this image to explain how join works. I know if you try to use those circles, subsets, and so we won't be able to understand it. Most of us they are not good with maths, and I think it's very common during our primary school time or so, whereby we have circles, we have values in between two circles, and so on and so forth. Let me not go down into that part. So this is just an example, an image to explain what inner join is all about. So inner join, which is one of the type of joins, only shows records where there's a match in both tables. Just like we have here. At the left side, the image at the left side, we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. Remember, we're focusing on the colored boxes or cells, if I may say. And we have table A and we have table B. Now, inner join, what it does is that it joins these two tables together, but it can only work if these two values they match together. So now if you look at this, if you look at the result, we can see only 1 and 2. Why is it only 1 and 2? Because 1, it matches up with the value in the other table. All right. So 1 is in the other table, 2 also is visible in the other table. But you can see that 3 isn't, 4 isn't also. So these 3 and 4 are excluded, and what is only going to be displayed for us as final result is just only going to be 1 and 2. And we're going to be looking at how we can query this. So this is just an intro into what this join is. Then we'll be going into our SQL, our position database management system, which is SQL Server, and that's what we're going to be using. And so let me go into that. All right, so I have myself prepared for this. So I don't know if it's going to be possible. I kind of like did a kind of a simple table for us to be able to understand um, for us to use for this exercise. So we have two tables here. So first of all, we were able to create a database called Templates, and we created a table. And creating a table, then we put in our field title, employee ID, the type we identified as a primary key, name, then voucher 24 characters in it, department ID integer because it's just going to be numbers. Then where else again? Then we created a table for department, also insert value into employees, and this is how it's being done. So insert into department values, and so it's SQL is very, very interesting. I tell you the truth. It's just more of like you communicating with your database, communicating with your data, and to just give you just you can see it's just a normal statement. Create a table department for me in bracket. This is the these are the field I want you to put in it. And when you run it, just like AI, just give it a statement and you just do the work for you. All right. So So we have this table. So if it's possible, this can also be shared to you all for you to be able to access this and practice after this if you want to. And yes, as I said before, it's going to be simple. All right, so we have this database selected. Technicalities. This is the first thing you need to ensure. You have to ensure that this the data right database is being selected. If not, it's going to be giving you error or true. All right, so now if I open this technicalities and I go into my tables, let's wait for it loading. Then we have these two tables called departments and employees. And if you open it more, you go to your columns, you see that we have two columns, department ID and department name. And for employees, if you go to columns, we have employee ID, name, and department ID. Now you can see that this particular column has a key shown just beside it. That is to tell us that this is a primary key, and you can see it has a constraint name called PK. All right, and yes, so we have this. So let's call this out. Very simple. And calling this out is, let me see if I can expand my screen. So let me put the comments and let me call. Right, let me calling the tables. So select. I love using capital letter or true. Remember, SQL is not case sensitive, so it doesn't matter if you're using it in capital letter or small letter. So I just for each and every one of us to be able to see what we're doing. So select all from what table, and table is employees. All right, and if I execute this, I have this employee ID, name, and department ID. So you'll be wondering where did I click on? So I clicked on this execute. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Execute is where I clicked on. So a shortcut for F5 for if you're using SQL Server is F5. F5 is short key for that. So if you don't want to move your mouse there, you can just press your F5 key and it's loads. But before you load, ensure that you've highlighted on the query that you want to load. That is when it's going to give you the results. But if you don't and you just click on execute, it's going to give you the result you want, but it's going to run all the queries that you have in that particular file, in this particular page that we have here. So, but if you want to be specific, you need to highlight, then execute, then it loads for you. All right. So this is just we calling our table. Then let me do for department. Select all from departments. All right. So, so I'm going to load this. Execute, and we have our department HRIT. And let me load both of them so you can all see what we are working what we're going to be using for the section. So we have the employee ID, 1, 2, 3, name, Alice, Bob, Carol, department ID, we have 10, 20, and 10. Then we have department ID 10, 20, and 30 in our department table. Then we have HR, IT, and marketing. All right, so if you look at these two, I wish I can actually um, switch to main screen. So we have because I want each and every one of us to flow with me. And if I may ask, going to the chat section, I don't know if anyone can just tell me which field is common between the two tables here. I don't know if you can just comment. It's not a if or following me. Yes, yes. Thank you, Ayodeji. I don't know. I have some stick sweets here. I wish I can share it with you, but I don't know. So if you want, I can actually like reveal it to you wherever you are. All right, thank you very much. I believe each and every one of us are present here and we are viewing this. we also know the department IDs. Just that Ayodeji was the first to reply. Thank you very much for that. It's nice to see that someone is following. All right. So department ID is the common field that we have here. All right. So let's go into inner join. And remember, inner join only give us it loads the two tables for us and also ensure that and also give us values that matches. So any value that doesn't match, does not appear in both, it doesn't show them. So I hope you get. So you only picks out matching values. Any other ones doesn't appear. So the difference between inner join and the rest is that some of them might even show it like null. Tell you, okay, this is missing, so it's going to appear as null. But for inner join, it doesn't even include that. So there's no non um, rows or record. What it's just going to show us is just the matching values, and that is all. It's a strict guy, very strict. I want those matching values. Any other thing, I don't need it. That's what it's trying to say. All right, so moving on. So I'm going to be including something, and it's essential. We all know it. It's called alias, but this is actually going to save us from a lot of stress. And this is like instead of us writing um our tables name like employees, because we need to identify um the table and the field all together when creating our join. So instead of us writing this full name and stuff, we can just shorten it. And so, but I'm going to do it the long process, like the big. I'm going to make it full. Then I'm going to then explain how these ideas can come in to save us the straight of writing it in full. You understand? It's like shortcuts. Instead of you saying Y O U you just put you. So anybody that's seeing you understand that it's Y O U. So instead of us doing saving instead of us to save ourselves from the stress of writing it in full, we can just shorten it. You understand? Give it a um an abbreviation or a short um or just a one letter to represent that full state, a full word. All right. So let's just go for it. So for us to be able to do the join, inner join, first of all, we put in our select statement. So as I was saying before, so we need to identify our table that we'll be working with. So the inner join, I want to include everything we have here. I want to include the employee ID, the name, department ID, and department name that we have um in the department table. So I'm going to put employees. So we first start with employees. I need the employee ID, all right, comma, and I need the employees. So don't worry, just flow with me. I'm not going to confuse you. So we'll still come back to looking at how areas can come in to save us the stress of writing all these things in full, like this employees in full. Just imagine your name is I don't know which footballer name do I know that is very long like that. So just imagine we have a very long name for a particular field, and imagine you're going to be putting it, you're going to be including it in each of the field that you want to include in your join. It's going to take you much time, a lot of time, if I may say. So we're gonna put name. All right, so comma. And so departments going to take charge of the department. So we have department ID, comma, and department dot department name. All right, so we come down. So let me just break this down. All right. Then we're going to put it from what table should we be looking at? So we're going to be using from employees table. So yeah, so we're going to be using from employees table. All right. Now, this is where we are going to include our inner join. So from employees table, inner join with what table? We want it to inner join with the department table. All right. Now, this last part is this because if we are going to run this, it's going to give us an error. That is for sure. But we need to we need to put down in what way is this two table related so that this query can be able to run. You can see so far so good. We are good so far. There's no red line. If there are red lines, it will show that yes, there is an error. There's an error. So to save us from that, we can just what we do is to okay, sorry. The red line is trying to tell us that there's no error. It's so far so good. But we are having errors at the next step to take. And that is expecting us to bring the relationship like in what way are they related? These two tables you're trying to join, in what way are they related? So and this is where we put in this constraint called on. So the on, we're going to put department table and put dot department ID. All right, comma. So this department is the table and department ID is the field that is common with the other table. All right. So we move on. So the next table is going to be employees. Is going to identify in what way are they related. Dot employees table dot which is related. Let's use dot as related to yes a related value which is department ID. All right. And you can see no more red lines for us. That tells us that we are good to go. And you know what I told you? For us to be able to get the result of what we have created, we need to alight and execute. All right, so when we execute now, you can see that these two tables have been joined together. We have 1, 2, 3, Alice, Bob, Carol, department ID 10, 20, 10, HR, IT, and HR. I don't know if we're observant, there's a value that is missing here. If yeah, a record that is missing here that wasn't included. I don't know if each and every one of us saw it. I don't know. So one value is missing. So let me just run this again and just focus on this first. Once you've gotten a picture of this, then I'm going to execute this. Now you can see that we have 10, 20, 10, 10, 20, 30. You can see there was no department name called marketing. And the reason why this didn't appear is because there's no relationship here. So it only showed us 10, 20, and only three only showed us only three records, 10, 20, and 10. And 30 didn't show because there's no matching value for it here. So 30 wasn't included here. So it was excluded totally from the results. And that is why we have this. As a result, 30 wasn't declared, no department name marketing in here. All right. So that is for you now join. I don't know if there's any question. Glory, I don't know if you can help me out. If there's any question from the chat section, just let me know and I'll be able to answer. Or I don't know if it's best after this week I can then attend to
All right,
share.
I'll let you know. So if we have any questions, please let's send them to the chat.
All right. Thank you very much. So we're moving forward. Let's go back to our slide. So we are done with inner join, and I believe each and every one of us understands it. So I don't know if you understand what inner join is. You can give me thumbs up, smiley face, any sign. Understand? Glory, just let me know what is the I know lots of positive thumbs up so we can move further. All right. All right. Okay. So let's move forward. Thank you very much. So we're moving to left join. Hmm. So it's getting interesting right now. All right. So looking at this image here, it's the same thing with our inner join. So there's a difference between inner join and left join. Now we are going to be shifting our mind to the table at the left. The table at the left becomes the master table, and it's going to be looking for a matching value at the right side. So that is to say that because it's a master table, we are focusing on the left table. That means it's going to appear fully. What do I mean by it's going to appear fully? Like every record in the left table is going to appear fully. It's going to show everyone, even though it doesn't have a matching value at the right side. Okay. Even though it doesn't have a matching value at the right side, it's going to appear fully. That's what the left join is all about. So if you look at this table we have here, we have 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 is referring to the left table, while table B is referring to the right. Now, as I said before, 1, 2, and 3, even though it doesn't have a matching value, it's still going to appear for us. So you can see that there's still a connection, even though it doesn't appear. So in this case, the field that comes next related to that record will be all appear as null. So if you look at the result here, you can see 1, 2, and 3, which is the value that we have in the left table, 1, 2, and 3. And you can see that the value y is showing null for us, which is what we have here. But you can see 4 didn't show. Why is it so? Because 4 is not in the left table. It's only appeared at the right table. So that is why isn't significant. So a left join, you can call it left join or left outer join. Any how you're going to put it. If you're going to write left outer join in your query, it's still going to work for you. Left join is still going to work. Either of the two, either of them works. It's still going to give you the result you want. So it's a type of SQL join that returns all records from the left table and the matching records from the right table. Okay. If there are no matching records in the right table, it will return no values for the columns from the right table. It's used when you want to include all rows from one table and only the related rows from another table. So as I've explained before using this diagram that we have here, so it's kind of like it only relates with the matching values that we have in the right table. So it shows all records that we have in the left table and look for the matching value in the right table. And anyone that doesn't match is with the record that we have in the left table is going to display null for that, just like we have here. Let's look at the results here. All right, so let's see how we can make this happen. So let's go to our query. So excited. All right, so I'm going to put a statement to let us know what we're dealing with, which is left join. Okay, now in this case now, I am not going to do employees as we have here. So I have to do this so that you understand different ways in which you can do your join. So this time around, I'm going to use the alias to explain to work to do the left join. So you can use either of the two, which of them is best for you. But for me, I would think if maybe you're just trying to like understand SQL, it's best to do this as time goes on. Once you understand what it's all about, then you can try the alias. But if it's something you get at once, then you can just go straight to alias. So the reason why I say so is so that you don't get confused. So you can see employees is the table, and this is the columns. Table, columns, table, columns. All right. So we're going to be applying the alias in this case, and we are going to have employees to be represented with the letter E, and we are going to have departments to be represented with the letter D. All right. Okay. So where we are going to, where we are we're meant to put employees, we're going to use E to replace that employee table. So let's do it. Select. So let me see. I want to follow exactly what we have here. All right. and employee name. Okay, so let me run this query so I can see the fields, right? All right, so select E dot. So instead of us putting employees now, we are putting E to replace employees. All right. But while we're running it, it's still going to give us rates on to reassign this letter to that table. That is when we're the error line is going to disappear entirely. It's going to be like magic. So just pay attention and you see the magic being done. So we have the employee ID, comma. Then we have E dot name, comma. Then E dot department ID. Okay, sorry, I'm going to use this case. Sorry, department ID, comma, then D dot department name. So you're showing us error. Do you know what you are doing? So we know what we're doing. So you just have to chill. So you can see there's no long line. I'm not breaking any line. Still short. So from employees table, then once we type the employees table, the space, then we are going to put the E sign. Now you see, once we put the E sign, you can see what happened. It disappeared. All the fields that has this table disappears entirely. So let me clear it now. The red line appears again. I put in the E, it disappears. So you can see how this works. Then left join. So our major table that's going to be at the left side is our employees table. So if you want the department to be at the left side, then you have to put department first. Or we want our employees table to be the first at the left, so we are putting it employees first. Left join with what? With our department. So department table is going to be at the right side, and put a space there in D. All right. Then our relationship, and that is going to be E. Now we're not going to put in employees again. We're just going to put E dot department ID equals to E dot employee ID. Yeah, it is very simple. It's not as lengthy as this. We just, yeah, this is what we have. So once I do this, so first, before we start, 1, 2, 3 is going to be, for sure, it's going to appear for us. And any one of them that doesn't have a matching value won't appear in the result here from the right side. So let's execute this. And once we execute this, you can see, oh, why are we having no? Why are we having no? All right, so sorry. Yeah, this is the mistake. I put E and E here. It's supposed to be D. Sorry about that, guys. So, oh, my bad. And I put employee ID. That was a mistake. All right. So let's run this again. So the ability to be able to identify that something is wrong and going back to your query to look through it, and it just is, SQL is a programming language, that's for sure. So when there are errors, you get the errors, you have to read through it. What's the error here? You go back to your query to understand the error statement given to you and see where you got it wrong. And for me, I was able to identify that, okay, this is where the parent is. And now if I execute this, it can see the results we wanted. So you can see the employee ID remains fixed at the left side. So the reason why we don't have any null values is because as if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 doesn't appear in department in our department table, then it's going to show us no. But it might look like it's similar with inner join. Yes, in this case, because of this that we're doing, it looks like we are is like inner join. But In the case whereby we have our employee ID to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the 4 record doesn't have a matching value in the department table, it's going to give us null or true. So it might have an employee ID and a name, but the department ID and department name is just going to be null or true. All right. So that is that for the lecture. So moving forward, so to right join. So let's go back to our slide. Moving on, we have the right join. And what does the right join do? So the right join in SQL retrieves all rows from the right table and the matching rows from the left table. If there are no matches in the left table, no values are included for the left table columns in the results. All right. So this is the opposite of the left join. Now you can look at this table. We have table A and table B, 1, 2, and 3, and this as a known value. So the reason why we're having no value because now the focus has been shifted to the right table, no longer the left table. So we are now focusing on the right table and looking for a matching value, a value that matches with from the left table with the right table. So we're focusing on the right table, looking for a matching value in the left table. So if you look at this now, for sure, 4 hasn't been appearing for us, but 4 is going to appear this time around because we are focusing on the right table. So we have 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, 3 in our left, 1, 2, and 4. Now you can see that in our result, 3 is not appearing here because the focus is on the right table, not the left table. And any other value that doesn't match with the right table shows it appears as null for us. So you can see that 1, 2, and 4 doesn't have a matching value with the left table, and that's why we have it displayed for us as null. Okay, so let's see how this works. All right. So I'm going to repeat the same thing. So I can actually copy this for us to save time. Copy this and come here and paste. So it's still the same process. So this time around, I'm just going to change this left join to right join. To right join. All right. So I believe you understand what we did here. So if you understand what we did in the left table, left join, because we're using all the tables in here, we just want to view everything all together. Definitely we'll be doing one example, maybe like an advanced example, just one, just just let us know what awaits us in when we go into SQL in full. All right, to the training itself. There you'll be able to have access to a lot of database and be able to apply this way on real life data, on data that has a lot of records in it, making it very interesting for you to make your analysis and understand each topics that will be dealt in SQL. All right, so what I did now is also change the left to right join. And if I run this, so this is what the left join result gave us, but now I'm going to run this, the right join. Now you can see that our dear marketing has really surfaced. All this why it has been ignored, but now yeah it is. So the right join, this is time to shine, and the right join are just giving him the platform for him to shine. Now you can see that at the left side, because it doesn't have any matching value at the left table, it all appear for us as null. Now you'll be wondering, why is it that this department did show at the left side and this show at the right side? We can actually do that. All right, we can actually switch it. So what we can do is we can just come here and change this to department and put D and change this to employees. Sorry, my bad. No, no, no. That's not the one. All right. So let's load it now. Oh, 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 I see what happened here. Right. So that can actually work for us. I expect these to show for us. All right. I don't think that will make any difference. I won't make any difference. All right. So what happened here is let's change it back to employees to understand what happened. All right. So the whole thing that happened here is because of the arrangement of our table here, employee ID, in name, and so. That's what happened in here, but that shouldn't be a problem why we have this display. Let's go back. Basically, the idea is for us to focus on the first table, which is employee to be the left and department to be the right. But when we switched it off, when we switched it, we have department and this thing and the employee. So what it was showing for us was it wasn't including, it was appearing like just appearing like we're doing left join, not right join. So I think in this case it's best we focus on this. And if we want this to actually really appear for us, I think it's best we then have to include the department name to come first before others. So if we try this and you switch this, also put employee ID and e-name second, and put employee and switch it to department name, and so it's going to give us what we really wanted. We can actually do that. Let's see. Let's see. Um, let's see. All right. So let's load this now. And oh my god, still gave us the same thing. Still gave us the same. So I think that can't work for us in that way. So I was expecting the department ID to all show for us in full, and for shows everything in full, but isn't. And change this to left join then. So in this case, it's not going to work for us because we're focusing on the right side. Oh, I understand why we're having this issue. All right. All right. So that is why we okay, I see why we had that issue the other time. We still kind of focus on the employee, even though we switched it up, we should have it won't work for us because now the attention has been switched to employee. So the reason why we're having that initial issue before, where I was maybe had the initial issue before, where it was just giving us exactly like how we have in inner join was because our attention was switched to employees. And when you switch to employees, which is the right join, what it did was just to focus on the records that he have in the employee ID and look for his matching value uh, with the left column. All right. So the marketing didn't shine here. So that was the issue we had. Even when we switch, what we have to do while we are switching it, we also have to switch the join that we're working with. If not, it's still going to give us the opposite of what we wanted. So so we are looking at right join. So it's best we go back to how we want this to be. Control Z. Point and execute. All right, so that is that for the right join. All right. So the last join we'll be looking at is called the full join. Full join, okay, or you can call it full outer join. So this one, what it does is that it doesn't care if you have any matching value. It just join does display everything in both tables, in the both records that in all the records that you want it to appear in that is in those both tables that you want to apply in this join. It shows everything, even though it doesn't have a matching value. It displays it and include null for all. Same thing for okay, same thing for matching value includes it. Non-matching value includes everything. So it's like it's a friendly person. So he accepts all everyone without excluding any, like other joints have been doing. But this one doesn't exclude, he accepts everyone the way they are, even though they are not represented in the order table, it still displays it all. So I'm going to copy this just to, or let me do this, copy this particular one and paste. And I'm going to change this from left to full, put full auto join in one of them. And when you run this, executes everything for you. So if you go to the slide that we have, so you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, everything is what we have here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, everything's included. So you can see three doesn't, it doesn't have a value in table B, should us no. 4 doesn't have a value in table A, displays no for us. Everything is being shown for us. So a full join in SQL combines records from two tables, including all rows from both sides and adding null values where there's no match on the other side. So it's essentially a combination of left join and right join. I hope you understand that. So full join is like alpha, like the like alpha male or what they call it. So um it's combination of both left join and right join. I don't know if we are familiar with this wonderful series called what they call it, the Originals, one of my favorite series, and have a very special character with Klaus. So it's called an hybrid, it's vampire and werewolf all together. So he has those two unique superpowers, supernatural powers. Vampire and a werewolf. So all together, so just like full outer joy, it displays both the left join and is the combination of both left join and right join. Just like Klaus is a combination of both hybrid and vampire, make him super powerful. Same thing for this too. The full outer join has both the left join and the right join together. Okay. So I believe you understand that sorry that I have to use that example. For those who haven't watched it, go and watch it. But yeah, but before you go into originals, I think it's best you start with Vampire Diaries. For those that watch it Netflix, I'm recommending a movie for you. So go watch it, and from there you move to originals, and there you understand the whole full story. And yeah. All right. Enough with the recommendations for movie. All right. So we're going to be doing one example, and this example I'm not going to be using this. I'm going to be using one of my favorite um database called Practice, and I'm still going to be using departments and employees in this table. So I have a table called employees and I have a table called departments. So I'm still going to be using departments and employees, but the difference is that we're going advanced. So let me introduce this table use database. Um, practice. All right, so I'm going to use this database called practice. So let me put it this thing. This is a we call introducing a new database. So it's mostly nice for you to read, put in comments so that whoever that's reading your queries understand what you're trying to do. It's same thing with programming language, Python, and so if practice reading through it to understand. So what I just did was to switch from Techlytics to so you can see in this box area practice instead of Techlytics. So we have to switch it and we need to identify the database we are working with so that we can be able to read the that database. If not, it's error that we are going to be seeing all true. All right. So to avoid errors like that, avoid that error. So we just have to switch to the database we want to work with. All right. So let me just call the tables or tables. So I'm going to call in tables. We have select. And we see I can be able to finish this within 7 minutes. See how I can attend to questions from the audience. Or on select employee. Um, name departments. All right. So you can see this table here. We have this table here. Now the idea is that I want to get the the total salary of staffs in each department. Well, there's something wrong with this table here. Look at it carefully. Now employee table focus on department ID because
Hi, Osinachi. Can you hear me? I think you're breaking up. Hi, Osinachi. Can anyone hear me, please? Hi, Osinachi. We can't hear you again. So sorry about that, everyone. I think Osinachi's network is bad. So sorry. I'll try to get him back. So sorry. Ayo Sinachi, can you hear me, please? Ayo Sinachi, can you hear me? Hi everyone, so sorry about that. Osinachi will be joining us very, very soon. Please, I already reached out to him. Osinachi will be joining us back very, very soon. But I hope that we've been learning, we've been learning something on the call. Does anyone please I want to confirm that you can hear me, please. And can anyone just tell me, you can raise up your hand, right? Let's make this interactive. Can anyone tell me one thing that they've learned that has really stood out for them that maybe they did not know before, attending this webinar? Does anybody want to, go ahead and tell us that? You can drop it on the chat box, but I would even love that you speak, right? So you can just raise your hand and then I will unmute you. So does anyone want to just say one thing that he or she has learned, in this webinar about joins, inner join, left join, everything we've learned? So does anyone want to speak? Anyone that wants to go for it? Anything you've learned, basically, anything you've learned. And that yes, network has been a lot, but it's been stable for a while before it went off again. So does anybody want to do that? Anything you've learned so far, or any new thing you were able to, catch during in the webinar? Anybody, please? I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Does anybody have anything to tell us? If nobody talks, that means we've not learned anything. Oh. Hello, can anyone hear me? Hello. Wow. Hello, can anyone hear me? So that means we've not learned anything today. Wow. I'm still waiting. Okay, I have a chat now. Hey, thank God. Okay. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. So anything you've learned, um Osinachi will be joining us back. He's having some network connection issues. But anything you've learned so far that you want to share, any new thing or anything that was reiterated that has stuck with you? Anybody? I'll start calling names. So we have Ayodeji, we have Chidoze, Ahmed, Kazim, Olafuyi, Toden, Waliu. Is there anything that stood out for you and you want to share with us? Nobody. Wow. Okay. I'm still waiting. I know that there's something somebody wants to say. I know that Ayodeji has been active in class. I got your question, Ayodeji. I'm going to relate that to Osinachi when he comes back. I got your question on the real life data situations where one can use full join. I would ask Osinachi once he gets to class and he would explain it to you personally. So I got that, please. So I'm still waiting for what? Okay, somebody has raised his hand. Oh, thank God. Okay. So Ayodeji, I've allowed you to talk. All you need to do is from your end is to unmute and then you can speak. So I'll be waiting to hear your voice. Thank you. And then there's somebody typing in the chat box. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ayodeji. Good
Hi, Glory.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. I hope you're doing
Yeah,
well.
yes, I'm fine. So I've been following up on the training, and it's quite interesting.
Mhm.
I've been out of touch from SQL for a while, for more than a year now. I just
Oh,
have a need for it again. So it's just coming back, flashing back again some of those memories of things. So I need to pick up. I'm quite rusty with the whole querying thing and the database thing. So what
wow.
that she's doing is something that I quite enjoy. Sorry for the background noise.
It's
So it's
fine.
something that yeah, so it's something that I'm quite enjoying. So that's why I'm just curious with a few questions and my little bit of activeness on the call. So, but
Mm,
it's interesting and it's something I hope to get very much better at, even
thank you.
beyond what is teaching us on this.
Well, wow. Thank you very much. But how has the instruction been? That's how has the facilitator been able to, pass across this to you? Has it been explanatory enough?
Yeah, he's been, quite explanatory, and I enjoy his style. He knows the thing, and he's he's using quite simple examples, which is just way for people that are just coming up to learn easily. It's not, yeah, so it's a good one. Anyone that wants to learn even further will definitely not rely on this
Mm,
alone. So deep, learn deeper, go to YouTube, sign up on different training platforms where they can even on Technics. So uh, it's quite a good one, and I'm enjoying it. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much, Ayodeji. Thank you so much for that. Yes. While you ask the question, if there is any way someone can practice this with examples, so you can be more familiar with, of course, there are materials, there are data sets that you can actually use to practice. So I'll be dropping sites where you can get data sets. You can get data set from cargo.com. You can get it as data set from there. Just check it out and get your data set. I think there is open world data world. There's also data world. You can get data from there too. Yes, so I'm dropping some sites where you can get data, and then you can just get data and practice with all of the things that Osinachi has explained. All right, please give me a few minutes. I need to reach Osinachi and so I can know what's happening. Yeah, thank you. Clearly. Yeah, I can hear you clearly, Brian. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Gloria.
Yeah.
How's today? You have been so very great in moderating these trainings, even for the last first batch of this data analytics training, which I participated. But unfortunately, I was unable to access my certificate. And I know I mentioned this to the president, to Madam President, the NSA president.
I can hear you clearly. I can hear you.
Very sorry. I don't really understand what was happening. I don't know if it was trying to tell me that my time has expired also. Just just kept kicking me out. So I don't know. So I had to even switch to another browser to know what's going on, and that's how I was able to have access. But I'll continue using Chrome to just kicking me out.
Okay. So sorry about
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry
We're
guys.
just
So
discussing on what we've learned so far, so you can just continue.
sure. All right. So I'm going to rush this, but I'm still going to make sure that we understand this last part. And so once again, I'm very, very sorry. All right. So Glory, please, can you just let me confirm if my screen is showing? Please
Yes, your
not
screen
like
is up,
this
Osinachi.
screen.
Your screen is up. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So the idea here is to find the total salary of staffs in each department. That's what we want to get. And so let's just do that. So we've seen what the table entails. But okay, I was trying to let us understand something. Now if you look at department ID, we have 50, 80, 50, 10, 110, 17, 40. But if we come over to our department table, we find out that we have even more than this listed here. We have 130, 140, 150, 240, 280 department ID. And this is a sign that we can't there's though there's a relationship, but there'll be a lot of no value if we cannot make department ID to be the first table we work on before employee. We only want to work with the ones that, yes, are in our employee table, and that will give us the total salary of our employees in each department. All right. So one of the essential things you need to know as a data analyst is that before you go into your analysis, you need to um, read through your data, understand your data before you can proceed. Clean it if there are errors, if there are mistakes, if there are missing values, you try to clean it and ensure that you have your data set for you to work with. All right. So so we're going to just quickly do this. This time is over our side. Um, So as you said, the total salary of staff in each department is what we want to get. And so for us to do this, we have to put our select, then E for employees, E that we need to get the department ID. Do we need the department ID? Let's say employee ID. Let's work with the employee ID, comma, and we need the department name. I'm trying to get right department name. Comma, then we have E dot, what do you want to get? Salary. Well, in this salary here, we know we want to find the total sum. So it's not going to be this, it's going to, we're going to use this aggregate function. We're going to use sum, and sum E dot salary, close brackets. And now, and the next thing, so we have everything that we need here. We have the employee ID, their department name, and total sum. That's what we want to get. So from what table? From the employees table, which is represented with the letter E. Then we're going to use left join in this case. Because of what we want to do, left join is the best, is the option we should use. I would have asked us to decide what join we can use in this case to get that. My bad, I made that mistake. I think you guys just escaped that question, but in this case, we have to use left join. So we are focusing on the employees, all right, and including the department that all these employees are in. Then we get their total salary for each department, where each of these employees fall in each department to find their total salary. All right, so we're going to use left join, and department is going to be the table we're going to join and represented with related D. And our relationship, and that is on E dot department ID. Now, if you look at this, we don't have our department ID showing here in the listed here. It doesn't matter if the column that is related not necessarily must show in the list here. All right. So you can see I'm trying to now expand your knowledge about this, that it's not essential you have your department ID showing for you. It's not necessarily you must list it out in the fields that you want to work with, that you want it to appear in your results. It's not necessarily must be included. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm not including it in our list of columns. So just going to just be that. Do we have any issue? Oh, this is called employee ID, not EMP ID. All right. Now, before I go further, now there's something I want you to know. I know if I run this, it's going to give me an error. So I want you all to understand the error that is going to give to us because work is not yet done. If you look at this, we are summing the total. Then how is it going to work? We still have to give it some instruction further because they are standalone, they're independent, but now we want to group them. So this hasn't done the grouping. It hasn't done it, and that's why it's going to give us this error. It's telling us column employees ID is invalid list because it's not contained in either an aggregate function or the group by clause. So an aggregate function was not included in this employee ID, and so but we don't want to include the aggregate function is going to be for the salary alone. So what we want to do is group it. All right, so we have to group this, and grouping it, we have this constraint called group by. So we're not just going to group it by, sorry, we're not just going to group it by just employee ID. We're going to group it by um let's say department name or department ID. But in this case, if we put department ID, we don't have it in our list here. So department name. So the aggregate, the other columns that comes up along with the sum. Okay, let me put it this way. We have these two columns that is also going to come along with this. Now, these two other columns need to be grouped because since they are not aggregated, so um, these other columns need to be grouped. So we are going to be including these two columns in this. All right. So we have employee ID. Or do we have to include employee ID? I don't think employee ID will be needed here. So we're just going to include department ID. So let's just see how it's going to work. And let me put D, department ID. Sorry, the department name. All right. So let's see if this is going to work. If it's still going to give us error, definitely, yes, we need to include the employee ID. And if it's not the employee ID, all right. So we have this list here. So we have employee ID, um we have this here, but we are not getting the result that we want. We are still seeing executive repeated multiple times, and that is the result of we including employee ID in here. All right. So in this case now, I am going to, because I want this to be short. It's not meant to be long like this, and we can see that we have this thing repeated even though we grouped it. So there's a reason why I'm actually doing this for all of us to understand some of the mistakes we do. So when you do this, when you play around, you're getting this error, you just know what to do. All right. So I'm just not going to make it just so look so perfect. You have to understand some of these mistakes. So when you come across it, you get to understand how you can be able to resolve this. All right. So I am coming back here and I'm going to remove this employee ID. I'm going to replace it with department ID. And I'm going to change this to department ID. And the reason why I'm using department ID is because we don't have we don't have we don't have we don't have this is why I'm using department ID because we don't have it we have it repeated multiple times, so it's possible for us to group it to become one. Oh, all right. Oh, I'm still making this video clean for your ID. department ID. All right, so let's see this now. All right, so we have the result that we need. So instead of us having all those listed stuff like that, so this work for us. So we have the department ID, we have the department name, and we have the the this total sum. Now you can see that we are having no column name. We have to give it a column name, and we can do that by coming here. It's either we can put as total salary. So doing this now, we are assigning a table name for this field here. And if I highlight this, you can see we have total salary. Or I can just move this as and just leave it like that. Anyhow you want to do this. So I move the as, I just put in total salary and I load this again. And we have this result we have here. So you see, we were just playing around until we have to get this thing right. And now we have the department and their total salary. All right. So is so we if we don't want to include the department ID, you can exclude it. You can exclude this also, and you can load this. You're just going to have two columns. And here you have a department name and total salary. So we have a department called none. So there's no name for it, but you can see the total salary. We have an employee that is in that department that doesn't have a name. So you can see all the departments we have, and we have their total salary. So you remember when we were loading this department, found out that we have more departments that that didn't appear in our employee table. So that was not included because why? We kind of focus on the employee table, and it just gave us the results. It just gave us the values that we have in that field in the employee table, and look for the matching value in the department table. And here we have it. So that is that for mastering join in SQL. I believe that so far with the examples, the slides and everything, I don't know if it's possible, we can have this made available for you to go through it and practice it yourself, and have a taste of how exciting SQL is. And yeah. So I don't know if there's any question. Any
I
question?
also
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one question on the group chat. Thank you so much for your session, by the way. It was really, really insightful and really sorry about the old network glitches that we had. All right, so the first question is saying, are there examples of real life data situations where one will use a full join? I believe there would be several. However, when such data goes into Power BI, the null cells get removed. That's the first question.
So the so this is you're trying to this person is trying to say, is there any real life is case
Scenario where you
where
can use
where-
full join.
of course, of course. Of course. You know what I said about normalization? I believe when you're going to be going through the intro of SQL, you have to go to the theoretical part of it. And the theoretical part of it talks about uh, first normalization and second normalization. I don't want to go deep into it, but when it comes to second normalization, it talks about um, it talks about breaking down a table into different sections. So instead of you just having a whole full table with a lot of field, you can just break that down and based on their relationship. Understand? And when you do that, it makes it easy for you to load your data. So you see all this hanging when you're trying to load your data is because of too much of records in it. So in order to reduce that load on one table, you can just separate it in different tables. Now, in the case whereby you want to then work with two tables that you they are the columns as all the informations that you want to use for your analysis, then you can use full join. So full join joins both of them together, and you can work on it. It's trying to tell you that okay, this is how the table looks like in real life, but just that because of we had to separate them, So they are not different from each other. They are still related. Um, so there are cases whereby you use full join, especially where you want to work with two tables and you don't want any row record to be excluded. You want everything to be in that table for you to make your analysis. So yes, there are real life times you have to use full join in. So I believe as you go on with the query and you get to do more practice on the way, you get to understand areas where you use full join. But definitely there are. Yes. So I don't know if that answers your question. And definitely when you kind of like move this to your Power BI, yeah, case whereby you can move null values, move it, remove all records, null records, and so that is when you're kind of like you move it to your Power Query, and so you can remove it totally. It has that features, that function of removing all null values. So yes, it's easy, or it's easy when you move it to Power BI or when you work on it in Power BI. So and yeah, so I don't know if that answers your question. Ayodeji, if Ayodeji is still here.
And you can send a message to the to know if that answers your question. Yeah, thank you very much, Osinachi. So we're all going to get the presentation slides for sorry, we're going to get presentation slides, but most importantly, the recordings will be sent to our mails 2 minutes after this session is over. So I think that's all. We've answered all of the questions, if I'm correct. So I think that's all from my end. Osinachi, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for making this work. Let's not forget our SQL class that's coming up July 5th. And I have posted a booking link where you can have a conversation with me to know more details about the class. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms on YouTube, Instagram, to watch this replay and also to get more replays on SQL or any other thing you want to check out, and to also know about our upcoming program. So thank you so much, Osinachi, once again for your time. And thank you all for waiting till the end. And sorry for the network glitches and whatnot. I hope we enjoy the rest of our evening and have an amazing time. Yeah, good night, everyone. Good night, Osinachi.
Good night. Thank you all. Good night,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.